Greetings and welcome to another impressions video here at Words About Games, and today we're going to be looking at Hitman 2. It's been a rollercoaster ride for fans of IO's Hitman series. After releasing the excellent episodic first season of Hitman 2 years ago, IO Interactive was sold off by publisher Square Enix, and for a short while the future of the series looked bleak. Luckily, IO were able to by themselves go independent and take the Hitman license with them, giving us the follow-up we desperately craved. With Hitman 2, IO have skipped the episodic release schedule of its predecessor, though it seems as though the sequel was developed with such a schedule in mind, evidenced by the fact that each level requires a separate installation. There haven't been a great deal of changes made to the formula this time around, with the core of Hitman very much left undisturbed. Hitman 2 still focuses on huge open levels packed full of various areas, characters, and unique and highly inventive ways to take out your thoroughly reprehensible targets, with a huge amount of replayability very much at the core of the experience. Changes are fairly minor. Agent 47 can crouch in and move through vegetation or tall grass now to avoid being spotted by patrols or otherwise nosy characters, edging the game a little closer to a more familiar stealth experience. Cutscenes have also been revamped, now consisting of a series of still images with the very occasional light animation work that, while a little flat compared to the fully CG cutscenes of the previous game, still work well enough. This is thanks in large part to the compelling story being told in Hitman 2. While the open-ended creativity is the game's obvious draw, Hitman 2 continues the plot of its predecessor really well. IO uses the narrative to flesh out the backstories of both Agent 47 and his handler, Diana Burnwood, as well as continuing the intriguing story of espionage set up the last time out. It's surprisingly engaging as you work to unravel the mysteries at the heart of the game, one kill at a time. Those kills, of course, are at the heart of the excellent experience. The art of assassination hasn't really changed all that much between games, which isn't really too much of an issue given how sublime it is to work your way around each of the brilliantly designed levels. There's an absurd amount of detail in each environment, which is packed with hundreds of NPCs, dozens of locations, and countless ways to end the life of your morally repugnant targets. The most involved of these are the returning story missions, which see you slowly tease out unique opportunities for assassination as you explore. Overheard conversations will open up paths for you to get close to your targets and kill them without ever knowing you were there. Such as in the early Miami level, where you can overhear a conversation that indicates your target, a racing driver, is awaiting the arrival of a new pit crew member. There are multiple story missions tied to each target, meaning you'll never see everything on your first run through a level, but you'll be happy to replay these levels multiple times over. There's so much depth and variety to be uncovered in each location that you'll be compelled to learn more. Plus, the feeling of accomplishment when you get a pristine kill using a story mission before waltzing away as though nothing ever happened is unrivaled, though this is lessened somewhat if you have all the UI assists turned on, which lead you around the map with objective markers. Even when things go wrong and you've got to adapt to a bad situation, Hitman 2 is still a pretty fantastic time. Following along with story missions isn't the only way to assassinate your targets, of course. Each level of Hitman 2 is jam-packed, full of inventive ways to off people, whether via more traditional means with guns and explosives, or getting really creative with things like fish, poisons, or even soda cans. There are a multitude of challenges tied to each level that let you earn extra XP, or you can just go off the reservation and experiment. On top of all this are the returning contract, elusive targets, and escalations, the latter of which won't be available until sometime after launch. Contracts are assassination missions created by other players that select NPCs in levels, which can also come with their own set of prerequisites for kills, such as outfits to wear or weapons to use. Elusive targets are one-off assassination missions that you get to try once, fail, and your target escapes. The amount of reasons this game gives you for revisiting levels is huge. Of course, it helps that the core gameplay itself is incredibly refined in Hitman 2. Agent 47 is a joy to control, with his movement being very deliberately paced and very weighty. Not once did I ever feel like I was grappling with the controls or the character's movements. It feels effortless to play, which makes it an incredibly satisfying experience all of its own. Though outright combat does feel a little floaty, it's a last-ditch option that you'll rarely actually use. Throw in the wide array of unlockable weapons, gadgets, entry points, starting disguises, and more that unlock as you gain experience within each level, and you'd be hard-pressed to find reasons not to jump back in for another go. So it's true that not much has actually changed here, but when the formula is this solid, it doesn't really matter so much. Hitman 2 is a fantastic continuation of what came before, without ever really feeling particularly expansive at all. Basically, it's more new Hitman that continues the narrative of the previous game with new locations, new assassination targets, and a few fairly small tweaks here and there. If you're hungry for more Hitman, then you'll find a lot of love in Hitman 2. Thank you very much for watching this video, guys. If you've enjoyed it, please keep it here at Words About Games. We've got tons of content, including our weekly podcast, more impressions videos, patch notes, and our weekly indie game of the week. We also stream over on Twitch at twitch.tv/wordsaboutgames every Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. And most importantly, have a great day.